We just want to make sure that people know what a good program we have here, and we appreciate the fact that there are people in the community that know what a good program we have. So if you happen to show up in our little corner of the field house down there, we will do our best to motivate you, we'll do our best to appreciate you, and we'll do our best to help you become a good runner, help you become a good student, and maybe along the way you'll become a better person. Because when you come into our corner of the field house, you get a little bit of philosophy, you'll get some of mine, some of John's, I know you'll get some of Kevin's, and that's part of what we do as coaches here. So when we do all these things and we get good people that come into our program, we end up with some pretty good things happening. This season, our varsity team was 137-5 on the season. Our JV team was 87-0. Junior high was 51-0. We won 6 invitationals, our 32nd Valley Conference varsity title, our 33rd consecutive JV conference title. It was our 8th consecutive junior high title. It was our 29th sectional title and our 31st state appearance. In the last week of the season, we were ranked number 1 in the state by the coaches poll, and we finished the very competitive 3rd place at the state meet, even though we didn't quite have our best day. This was our 24th time we've been in the top 5 at state. We actually were better than average for us. Our average finish at the state meet in our 31 appearances is 3.77. So of all those state appearances, it's kind of odd that this was only the 2nd time we finished 3rd. We've been 1st 9 times, we've been 2nd 6 times, but we've only been 3rd twice. Of all the things I'm proud of this team, one of the stats, when we get on the bus and we go ripping through the result sheet, one of the things that I'm most proud of is the fact that of all the teams in the state of Wisconsin, we had the best number 6 runner and the best number 7 runner. Kind of makes you wish we got to score 7 people, but it just doesn't work that way. So we accomplished a great deal this season. In conclusion, some of my thoughts here. Back in August, I thought the biggest competition we were going to have would be Appleton East, Marquette, Neenah. What I really didn't know is that our biggest challenge would be something called H1N1. I don't want to make too much of this because, I spent a lot of time this year talking about illness. But the fact is that it was a big part of our season. It made things difficult. Sometimes it was really frustrating for me. If you had a kid that got sick with H1N1, you know how frustrating it was for you. I had 41 of those kids that came up to me on a daily basis telling me their health condition. That was really a frustrating thing. Sometimes it was just out and out sad because we had some guys that had their seasons ended. That was hard. I said at the beginning of the season that this was going to affect other teams in the state. Evidently, I was wrong because it seemed to only affect us and the Cleveland Browns. Other than that, I can't tell you if anybody else missed any time. There's a big downside to this, and that was that it affected half of our team. We missed lots and lots of practices, and many of our guys missed many meets. We never quite became the team that we might have been, and we'll never know how good we could have been had we not missed some of that time. On the upside, though, we learned some of those life lessons that you have to learn from these, that life is unpredictable, that life isn't always fair, you don't always get what you want. But the biggest lesson we learned is you just never give up. And that's something I'm really proud of with this team, and the fact that no matter what happened to us, these guys hung in there, they kept showing up. The guys that could walk, the guys that could run, the guys that could show up were out there, and they continued to work and they continued to believe. And it was difficult for me to maintain that because everywhere I looked, I saw good guys on the sideline, and everywhere you looked, though, you saw some other guys that stepped up and filled in those spots. So that turned out, in a strange sort of way, to be a good lesson that no matter what happens, you never give up, and that when you're faced with tough times, it's really important to pull together with the people around you. And that was one of the really good lessons, that we did pull together, and we had some good things happen. At the end of the season, this came together for us. And if you were at the conference meet at 9 Mile Forest, that was about as good a race as we have ever had a team run. And I've been here a long time. And I'm not making that up. That was just an outstanding team effort that day. And I don't know, everybody just was healthy for that one day, took out their frustrations, went out and ran some terrific times on a really pretty challenging course. And, you know, for me, that is the greatest moment I think we had during the season. We went out the next week and kind of walked through our sectional meet. And then last Saturday, we experienced what I like to call the fastest 17 minutes of the year. And it's followed by the longest 10 minutes of the year when you stand there and stare at that scoreboard. And if any of you saw the picture in the paper, that's what we're looking at. We're just hoping somehow that maybe our name flashes up there in second, or too much to think about being first. We knew we hadn't run quite well enough, but there's still that element of hope. And Kevin said this to me somewhere along the way. He said, isn't it amazing that we were even thinking that at that point with all we'd been through, and the fact that we at least had a chance there. And we did, in fact, have a chance. In the end, we didn't do quite enough to come home with a trophy. We came home with some mighty tasty submarine sandwiches, some great memories, the knowledge that we did our best.